Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Robbie Bobby channel. I'm indeed your host Robbie Bobby, and today we got issue 98 of Build Your Own R2-D2. And welcome back. If you happen to be new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing if you happen to like my builds and my unboxings, and thank you. Coming soon next month, I think, or it could be in January, I begin the build of the X-Wing, which will take another 2 years to complete. But it's going to be awesome. And you're welcome to join me on that journey as we continue on with the building series. So this week we got issue 98, and there it is in its all glorious form. Issue 98, which deals with the framework, circuit board brackets, sensor housing, and fixings. Remember last week we got this issue, which was the actual lens and the camera for the eye of R2, which we're going to hook up this week. Now issue 98 is pretty much going to be dealing with the same thing. We're going to be hooking up the clips onto the wires and hooking up the front of R2-D2 because this is just temporarily on hold at the moment. So we're going to screw this in to the rest of the bodywork, and we'll begin right now.
And you think you're way over your head.
I don't really want to begin this. Oh, I just put that on there. That's nothing. So we're going to hook up the motor as well. We're going to hook up this little bad boy here to the rest of the circuit board. So we'll put that to one side out of the dome right here. With issue 98, it does come with a replacement lens. I think the lens is a little bit lighter. That's why they replaced it, because the original lens is darker. We have got a little indentation on the side of R2-D2's eyes. You can't really pick it up on the camera. That's where you're going to put the camera. Not my camera, the camera that I'm going to show you, not the... Yeah, I think looking at the lens, I think one is actually darker, this one here, and this one's lighter. I think that's probably due because you want... Probably because you need a lighter lens for the camera to actually do its job. I'm going to try to be so careful not to really touch anything. I'm telling you to remove the cover that's on the lens. So that is the actual lens, well, that's the actual eye of R2-D2, I suppose, and that's going to go where his eye is, which is convenient because that's the location of his eye. Okay, so at the back of R2-D2's eye, you have got this adhesive strip, and you just want to carefully tear that apart. Now all you're going to do is feed that through and sticking that eye onto the fixtures. Wow, it kind of looks like a Dalek. Exterminate. And you're just going to secure those in place. That is the eye of R2-D2. I don't know if you can see it in the lighting, but there we go. Okay, so remember when I said to feed the ribbon through? You want to make sure that the ribbon feeds through at the bottom part of all of the wiring, and make sure you don't bend it or crease it in any way, but you just want to make it revealing at the bottom there. Put that back onto the display like so, probably breaking the ribbon as I'm putting the rod in the center of the hole. So in issue 98 you get a foam, and the foam is going to be where the lens are located, and I think where you need to stick. Okay, you need to stick the two foam lens cover seals to the area indicated in pink and yellow. You're just going to peel one part off and stick that on the top along the edge of the bottom of R2, and then take the other strip and put that on the side where you put the first foam, and there we go. Okay, so you can't pick it up on the camera, but again, it's on the lower part of R2-D2's eye, resting on the dome, so I don't know if I've done that correctly. I don't even know what it's there for. Okay, so that's done. All we have to do now is replace the lens part. So we take apart the lens that you're told to put in the first place and replace that. So what you're going to do is remove the film Forgot how to put that back on. Find the slit. Like that. That is the completed eye of R2, and you can kind of see the camera. Oh, the camera's in there, look. Ooh. So, what is next? Okay, so we take the front part of R2-D2. I'm still going to weather this. I've just got to buy a gun. I'm just going to clarify, I'm buying an air gun, not an actual gun. Now, I will show you pictures on the screen. Now we take this wire here, which is at the top end of... Actually, I got no idea what that is. Okay, that is the motor that makes the arms come in and out. So we've taken this top wire here, and we've got a little slant there, and we're just feeding the cable all the way through. Why we didn't do this in the first place, I don't know. Not pulling too hard on the cables because you don't want to disconnect anything or make it really hard. I want to give it a little bit of slack, which is what I'm doing. The AM label, so we're going to take the AM label, which is, and put the AM label onto the wire. We're going to take this sensor cover here, this lovely cover there, and we're just going to take the front part of R2 and we're going to put it on the top part of the sensor at the front. Okay, so now in the magazine you got another example of where to put the remaining parts of the wires, and we're going to hook the rest of the wires up according to the picture that's in the magazine. And last but not least, we take the back of R2, the back of here, and you got the speaker, which is located at the bottom, and you just dislocate his shoulder arm. All we're going to do here is we're just going to hook up the label that says speaker, front and back all labeled, and all we have to do this week, we're not going to hook up the back this week, I don't think. We're going to hook up just the front part. So let's take the dome now. We got this cable here, which is the actual microphone of R2, and we're just going to label that with mic. That is one label done on the dome. Okay, so we now got the dome motor, which is going to be labeled HM. Put that on. I think all of the labels are now labeled up, so all we have to do now is hook up the front part of R2-D2 to the body here. Further ado, let's put it on. So let's bring R2 back onto the table. You want to take all of the cables and try to feed it under the frame here, so it's all going in one direction. Now comes the tricky part, is hooking everything up. Freaking heck. Now I've got a flashlight, so I'm going to use the flashlight here to help. Okay, and I think that is the front R2-D2 all hooked up anyway. I hope so anyway. Okay, so now we go at the top frame of R2-D2 and just unscrew that little rubber bracket that we had. And take the two spacers that come in issue 98, just put them in the little brackets on the top. You got a D shape on the motor. The D shape is actually going to be facing the front part of R2-D2, so you just want to place the D shape all the way down, resting on the shoulders between those two spacers, like so. Okay, so now all we're going to use is the silver screws and just secure that into place. Before I started to screw those in, I just realized we need the washers to go on top, underneath the screws. Ah, flippin' donkey butts. What? I just dropped a freaking... Thought you could run away from me, boy. Found you. I want to make sure that the green, blue, and black are on the outside, and that's one way of knowing that you actually got it the right way around. Genius. So now we're back to the dome, and you just want to turn that upside down. Now where you had the mic, you want to feed that through to the little clips you have around R2, and just leave that like that, and that's done. Now you want to take the dome support, which is this piece here that you built, you know, the Klingon bird of prey. I think it's upside down. It was that way, wasn't it? I don't know. Make sure that this lung here, or tongue, whatever you want to call it, I'll call it a tongue. You want to make sure that this tongue here is aligned between the actual projector and the lightsaber hilt. Don't know if you can see that. And the diagram is going to be on display now, and you just want to line that up, and it should fit when you meet up with the way it should be going. Throw it in, and it should look something like that. Remember, you got the tongue in between the lightsaber and the actual projector of R2, which is this piece here. And that is issue 98 done. Guys, there's only 2 more issues. I can't believe we come this far. That means that there's 2 more issues to go. I haven't got any batteries yet though, so I hopefully hopefully Deagostini and Model Space will give us some insight on where to get the batteries. I know a lot of people are going online and searching what batteries to get. I am told that Model Space will be finding a link anyway for us to get the batteries that they recommend. They're still working on that, I'm told. It should come out before issue 100, so it could come out next week, hopefully. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because I can't test this thing without the batteries. Next week, we deal with the actual brain of R2-D2, which is going into the dome somewhere. I don't know at this stage, but it's going to go somewhere anyway. It's going to be a Pi. It's going to be a Pi. I got an emulator. If you got an emulator, you know what a Pi is. And a Pi is a really cool, fascinating piece of... It's kind of like a cheap computer. You can turn it into anything. Some people use it to get into like a smart mirror on a window. It's really cool. Anyway guys, if you like this video, please give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Also share this video with your family and friends if they like this build and they like everything Star Wars retro and unboxing, and they like to see an idiot on YouTube. Send them my way. I'll look after them. So here we go. I'm just going to put... Until the next video guys, Robbie Bobby signing out.